I'm really excited. Today I'm here with one of the world's leading experts on one of the most important things any of us face. I'm here with Rupa Knuell, and we're talking about her new podcast we're launching, Gratitude with Rupa. So Rupa, we hear about gratitude all the time. Everyone says, make a gratitude list, gratitude list. It's not a grateful world. We're in a tough time right now. A lot of people are sick and afraid, and they're losing their jobs, all of it. The hurdles we're facing are large: grief, illness, fear. Tell me why gratitude is the thing.
It is so important. We say about gratitude all the time, but it's so important to feel it inside and be thankful. Like when I count my gratitude in the evening or whenever, or in the morning, the first thing I do, I would literally feel it and I would cry for it. That thank you so much that I have this.
So not an idea.
No, not an idea, not the number that you're writing things down, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the feeling. And obviously, when you write, if you feel that is even more intensive.
So you think that one of the mistakes we're making is we're talking about gratitude like something outside of ourselves.
Yeah, and it's became as kind of like a fashion. Yeah. Like, I'm thankful for this and that and blah. But do you really feel it?
Like
breathe and do tears come to your eyes?
When real gratefulness.
Yeah, and real gratefulness. And that's what important. And when my daughter comes from the school and sometimes she's cranky and saying, oh, well, that girl did like that, or she didn't play with me, and then I ask her, all right, let's count our gratitude. Tell me 5 things that you're grateful for, and I'll tell you my 5. And then, when we talk and exchange our gratitude, and the energy shifts. The energy shifts, and then we are both happy, and then she doesn't have this anxiety anymore, and it's so amazing.
We talked a little before we started, and I said I had 3 questions for her, but the second was, how do we create gratitude? Because I feel like making a gratitude, it's hard for me to embody this.
Yeah.
Or even to make the time for it because it seems inaccurate.
Absolutely.
But making this list to each other and having a conversation like, oh, what made you grateful today? What makes you grateful today? So that's actually a tool that could inspire gratitude.
Absolutely. To exchange, to share the energy. When you rise your energy, it helps surrounded everybody.
When I'm in a grateful place, I'm much more tolerant of others. If I'm in a grateful place and someone's in a bad place, I don't take it personally at all.
Yeah, but isn't it takes the energy when you go and you see the negativity, you feel the energy and you don't want to be there anymore. You feel like, oh, when I can get out of that place.
Or can I help?
Yeah, or can I help? Yeah, sure.
I love what you're saying. A grateful heart is often a healthier heart. We see people who are grateful tend to recover from illness faster.
Yeah. Tell me about something that I really wanted to ask. I have lost my mom recently. And you have lost your husband recently. Tell me about it. How did you manage the gratefulness that you had? How did you deal with it?
The hard thing has been that the mind wants to go to regret. It wants to go to somewhere I failed.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the finality of death, that we know we can't ever
the grief
anything, right?
And
the grief is just sadness he's not here, but the regret that I somehow let him down, like I wasn't there to help him when he died, I wasn't there to save him, I didn't say goodbye, all those regrets, or maybe I should have been kinder that day, I yelled at him, and then I have to stop myself and say, no, don't do that. Remember the love. Remember how much you loved each other.
Yeah.
How lucky we were. A lot of people don't find that love at all.
Yeah, and we all tend to go to that negativity and to think, what have we done wrong? And what I didn't do for him or her. Or all those negative. What I found out, I told myself, the soul is there.
The soul is here.
The soul is maybe listening or maybe even seeing you. And when you feel, the feeling is like a vibration. It has such a magnetic field, right? And if you feel that, maybe that soul is also feeling that. And when you're happy and when you're grateful and you're making the soul happy and your mother is seeing you being happy, she must be feeling happy. And what you told me yesterday about the relationship with your dad, can you tell a little bit about that?
So I was speaking at a conference and I met this amazing Buddhist monk, Tony Gina Kulia, and I were talking about heaven because I've always struggled with the idea of heaven. So when someone I love dies, I'm lost. I don't know where they are. And I can't find them. My mind keeps trying to find them and I can't. And Tony Gina Kulia said, it sounds like you and your father were very different when my dad died. And I said we were. My dad was a tough guy. He was a protector. And I'm all, the love world is love.
Yeah.
He was a police officer and I'm like a flower child. So we were very different. And Tony Ginocchia said, here's heaven. Go to the moment when your dad knew and loved you for exactly who you are.
Huh.
And you knew that he knew it. And in that moment is heaven. That's where you go to find your dad. Go to that moment. And going to that moment of great love washed away all regret, all fear. All of that was gone. That moment was a profound love between us. He had been sick and he was saying to a police officer friend, oh no.
And that profound love never dies.
It never dies.
Yeah.
And once I knew that he had that for me, that was heaven.
That was
My life
it.
changed.
That was exactly.
My life changed.
Yeah.
So I tried to think that through with my husband, Tommy. When did I know this moment that Tommy was still for me all these years later? And he was in the hospital right before he died. And I slept in a chair next to him in the emergency room, in a hard chair. And I was fast asleep. And when they came in at 7 to turn on the light and admit him to the hospital, we were in the emergency room waiting all night. He said, no. She's sleeping. Let her sleep. And I was half awake and I heard this and I just reached out and touched his arm. In that moment between us, we spent a lot of time in hospitals. I could have a lack of regret and no gratitude, but I have so much gratitude. All this time in the hospital, I was fighting for
And that moment keeps you alive, right? Forever and ever. It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't remember all those bad memories and stuff, but that love keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
And this
You
gratitude.
And your mom too.
Yeah.
I mean, your mom was in Bangladesh and you were here. That's not easy.
No.
How do you overcome the regret of the grief and regret and to get to gratitude?
Whenever I look in the mirror, I see her. And I feel grateful that
you're her legacy.
I feel grateful. Oh my God, she's right here. And when I wear her, her bangles and stuff, I get to wear that. I'm feeling her on my arm, literally. And that makes me feel grateful. And that makes me feel cry and alive. And I think every human being has the birthright to be happy and to truly live this life, not just like that.
Touch on it, go deep.
And
Yeah. You and I spent a lot of time talking about gratitude the last few days. And, one thing I've really taken from you is even in the hardest times, if you can find something to be grateful for, you're still loving and living your life.
Yeah. And I think loving yourself is so important.
Challenge for so many.
Yeah.
Things.
And you can only love yourself when you're grateful.
Daughter is such a sweetheart. I mean, this is like gratitude embodied.
Yes, gratitude embodied. Yeah. I'm so grateful that I have her, and this is the best thing ever happened to me. And I'm super grateful. She is amazing.
Me too. I'm lucky enough to be a mom too, but it took us a long time.
You have Liam.
We lost pregnancy after pregnancy at first, and trying to find a reason to be grateful.
And then you got Liam. Yeah. You started feeling grateful, right?
Well, what happened, we lost...
Please tell us about that, about the pregnancy matter. And I think many women out there struggle with that.
Very sad miscarriage. It's a grief. Absolutely. March 3rd of 1999, on my birthday, I miscarried this baby. And my heart broke. I knew we weren't going to try again. It had been a lot. And the whole day I kept touching on prayer, like, Lord, please help me to be grateful and not grief-stricken. I'll make every birthday this dark thing. I could do that, and I don't want to do that. So please help me rethink this. And I couldn't get there, but I did a thing. I did something to try. So we went out to dinner for my birthday that night. I lost the baby in the morning. And it was a beautiful dinner.
Could you explain a little more what you did exactly?
Instead of being in my house in my thoughts, because I couldn't get out of it, I thought maybe if we just go out to dinner, get out of the house, try and get out of my thoughts. And a dinner is like smell and sound and people. So we invited a close friend and we went out to dinner because friends are like magic. And so at that dinner, I thought, I shifted my thinking. That baby has a birthday in heaven. I have a birthday on earth. I had to change of perspective. So change of perspective, I think, is a really important tool.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Liam was born the following birthday, March 3rd of 2000.
What a miracle. What a miracle.
Natural childbirth. I went into labor in the morning at 1:00 in the morning. and I had the baby in the
Isn't
afternoon.
gratitude just opens the door,
Opened the door.
for your abundance to flow?
Yeah,
Isn't it just a miracle?
Hallelujah.
So yeah, everyone,
So much to be grateful for.
keep practicing gratitude.
Rupa, thank you for doing the podcast. So
Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful that you're here.
Here is not my podcast. I'm just setting the stage. Rupa's starting something called Gratitude with Rupa, and she's going to start the podcast. So if you're watching this is just episode 1.
Yeah.
Rupa's going to be interviewing some of the world leaders in health, in wellness, in spirituality,
Yeah.
some authors, some celebrities.
Help you for practicing gratitude, and let's share our gratitude.
Make
and
an elevation.
make elevation.
So let's have a toast to
Yeah.
success.
Thank you
Here
so
to
much.
the blessing of life.
Thank you.